How are you going to get to where you want to go if you don't know where it is that you want to go? Welcome to Sales Secrets Exposed. I'm your host, Mark Weisenburger. If you're new to the channel, go ahead and click subscribe and ring that notification bell so you don't miss a single episode. It will also help your sales colleagues around the world to find this content. Today, we're going to share with you the correct framework for a vision statement. Yes, I said correct framework. Now, there's right ways, there's wrong ways, and you've been taught the wrong way to write a vision statement. So before we dive in to the framework, let's just go through some myths, problems, challenges with vision statements that individuals have. The first challenge is individuals. There's a lot of people that just think, oh, it's just foo-foo stuff. Nepoleon Hill, he didn't know what he was talking about. I've tried vision statements. They don't work, so I don't write them down anymore. And yeah, if you have not had the right framework, they don't work. They are foo-foo, and they are a waste of your time. The second challenge is most people don't understand the difference between a vision statement and a mission statement. Let me just clarify real quick, and we're going to dig deeper into this. But a prospective client I was talking to, which is now a client since my last video on vision statements, I asked her, what is your vision statement? And she said, well, I just feel that my sales business is here to help me to share my testimony of my Savior, Jesus Christ, which would make an awesome mission statement, but it's not a vision statement. We'll clarify what a vision statement is down below. The third problem and challenge is individuals won't write this stuff down. They say, oh, I can remember it in my head, or I don't need to write it down, I know everything. Or even that, and no one's taught us this, is you need to write it down, not type it in the computer. And we'll get more into that in a little bit. The fourth challenge, and I'm going to throw Nepoleon Hill under the bus on this one. When he talks about a definite major purpose in your life, he's telling you to go out 20, 30, 40 years and to write your mission statement or where you want to be in 20, 30, 40 years. There's a problem with that. You can't stay motivated for 20, 30, 40 years. You don't know what technology is going to be like in 20, 30, 40 years. Can you imagine me writing a mission statement 30 years ago and including my smartphone in that? No, because smartphones didn't even exist 30 years ago. We were just barely happy to have a cell phone that you could call a number on. You couldn't even text. So how are we going to do that with advancing technologies and different things going on? And 5 is individuals are not clear on what they want or where they want to be in that 3-year period. Now, if you'd like to learn more on vision statements and these myths, go ahead. I'll have a link in the description below on a video I created earlier that talks about some of these problems in more detail. But for right now, let's just dive in to the mission or the framework for your vision statement. So first, you've been taught how to do vision statements wrong. Yeah, everything you've learned up to this point has been wrong. Because they say, hey, go in, in whatever time frame your guru was talking about. They say, hey, go and sit down and just type out your vision statement tonight. Well, it's a little more complex than typing out your vision statement tonight. So let's go through that 9-step framework and get a pen and paper out so that you can write this down to help you remember when it comes time for you to create your vision statement. Okay, let's get ready to dive in to the 9-step framework on how to create a mission statement, or a vision statement rather, that will work for you, because everything you've been taught up to this point about vision statements is wrong. Everyone always says, come in, go home to your computer, type down, tonight, and, take 20, 30, 40 minutes and just type out your mission statement, or vision statement rather, on where you want to be in the future, whatever time frame that individual tells you to write down. Some people say 1 year. Majority of them say 10, 20, 30 years. Excuse me. So you've been taught wrong. So here's the framework. And I'm just going to go through the framework one by one. So grab your pencil, pen, paper, and write down the 9 steps so you're good to go. So when we get off of this, you know what to do. 1 is know. Know the difference between a vision statement and a mission statement. And as we go through, come back and dig in a little deeper into this 9-step framework, you will become very clear on what a vision statement is. The second step, 3 years, not 10 years, 20 years, 30 years from the future, but 3 years from today, where do you want your life to be? The reason we want it 3 years instead of 20 or 30 is, again, people can't think 20 to 30 years in the future. Technology changes 20, 30 years in the future. We can't stay motivated for our dream house 20, 30 years in the future. We've got to take steps. So 3 years. And I kind of got off on that, explaining that before, rather than just going through the list. So I apologize on that. So no, 3 years, notes. Percolate, revisit, write, percolate, refine, and reframe. So that's the 9 steps. So now let's get in and go a little deeper in some of these. And the first 2, I've already done that because I love to talk, and so I got a little carried away. But know the difference. So step 1, know the difference between your vision statement and your mission statement. Where do you want to be in step 2, 3 years from today? So note. So this is what I want you to do. Rather than just sit down your very first day and create your vision statement, I want you to sit down in a quiet room for 20 to 30 minutes, play some soft music in the background if you'd like, ask the family to not disturb you, turn your phones off, turn notifications off, turn everything off, so it's just you right there with yourself and your own thoughts. And I want you to use a writing utensil and a piece of paper. There is scientific evidence that goes from the hand to the brain to help the subconscious process what you are writing and what you want. And so I want you to write, just like I say, 1 or 2 words. 5,000 square foot home, a new EV car, live a vacation to Fiji, just anything like that, Fiji, car, big car, whatever you need to remember that. And I want you to spend 20 to 30 minutes on this. And the first few will come really fast, but then the other ones will come a little slower. And it's okay to revisit, go back and forth on what you've read and written and what you've already written down, to do that and just meditate and ponder. And then step 4, as I said, after you've taken all those notes on what you want, or where you want your life to be in 3 years from today, I want you to take that piece of paper, put it in your top drawer or someplace safe, and let it percolate for the next 24 to 48 hours. Because what's going to happen during that time frame, as that percolates, your subconscious mind is going to be working on that. You're going to think of new things that you want. You're going to think of things that you put down on there that, well, maybe not. Maybe that's not really what I want. Let it percolate. And then step 5, I want you to come back and revisit that list. Read through your notes. Cross some things off. Add some new things on to where it's you and your vision, not someone else's vision, but your vision where you want to be. Now that you're done, again, now lock yourself up for 30, 45 minutes. You should flow pretty good at this point. Again, I want you to get the writing utensil and a piece of paper, not your computer, not your smartphone, not a tablet, a writing utensil. That is seriously critical in this process. Now I want you to look at that list and start writing the story. For example, let's say it's September 1, 2023 is the day that you write your vision statement. You now write, it is September 1, 2026. I woke up in my 5,000 square foot home. I went into the kitchen and made breakfast for my children in the gourmet kitchen that I helped design. I take my kids to school in my new Suburban, my new Porsche, whatever it is. And you just go through and describe that day. So just think, it's a perfect day. What is that day? Now, here's one thing I want you to remember, and again, this is another mistake that people make. I don't want you to think about how you got there. In other words, I don't want you to say, I'm so grateful I'm in my 5,000 square foot home because I made 100 cold calls a day, or I made 15 presentations a day. Because what that is doing, that is blocking out the subconscious mind. Now your subconscious mind says, okay, to get this home, to get this income, I have to make 1,000 cold calls a day. How do I make 1,000 or not 1,000, 100? Hey, I get excited. And so, 100, that's where your subconscious is at. Is how do I make 100 calls a day to get to this goal? And I don't want you to mention the company you're with. I'm so grateful I was able to sell such and such a product for XYZ company, because we don't know what's going to happen. We want that subconscious mind opening, looking for the best options and ways for you to reach your vision statement. And so while it's looking, you may be making 100 cold calls a day right now. Good for you. But as you go through 6 months, a year from here, as that subconscious is working and playing, you may find a marketing tip that will automatically attract clients to you. So you no longer have to make those 100 cold calls a day or talk to 100 people on social media a day, because your mind is looking, okay, what is the best way to get to this vision statement on this day at this point? Is there a better company than XYZ? Not that you're looking, but your subconscious is just open And then that may bring someone from company ABC that says, hey, Bob told us about you and we'd really like to hire you. And our commission is twice as much as what you're making now, or whatever the case may be. So I want you to write that down and just be very specific on what your day is, but leave everything out that on how you got there. And then I want you to percolate again. I want you to take that written vision statement, which I only want to be 1 or 2 pages long at the most. I want you to take that and again put that in the top drawer. I want it to percolate for another 24 to 48 hours. Because as you percolate, you're going to say, well, maybe I don't want this, or maybe I do want this, or I worded that a little incorrectly. For example, I wrote something in my first one that I just recreated or updated here a couple months ago. I said, oh, it's such and such a day, and I woke up and exercised for an hour and got all sweaty and exhausted, and I'm like, during the percolation process, I said, I don't like to exercise. I exercise, but I don't like to exercise, and I don't like exercising that intense. And so after it percolated 24 to 48 hours, I come back to step number 8 in the framework, which is refine that vision statement. So I want you to read through that. What changes do you need to make? Did you decide you wanted a little more income? Did you decide, you know what, I really don't need this big of a house or this expensive of a car or whatever, and I can really do it a little less because the children are going to be gone, or whatever the case may be. For my example, I came back realizing that I don't want to exercise today. I do, but I don't want to. I put in there, I am so grateful I've learned to enjoy exercising. So now my subconscious mind is looking for ways to help me enjoy exercising. Rather than being something, I hate exercising, why do I exercise? Now my mind's saying, okay, what is going to help Mark Weisenburger enjoy that? And so just refine that down and get it. And you can even let it percolate another couple days depending upon how many changes you make in that. And once it's refined and where it's at, if you'd like, you can type it into the computer and print it out so it's easier to read. Because now we go to step number 9, which is to reframe, which I mean reframe your subconscious mind so that you can believe that vision statement. There's probably certain things in there you don't believe. And that's why Nepoleon Hill said you stand in front of the mirror every morning when you wake up and every night before you go to bed, and you read that vision statement with enthusiasm and excitement. And you have to do it with enthusiasm and excitement in order to get the frequencies to cross into the subconscious brain. And so reframing is reading that day in, day out, morning and night, and a lot of work. And there again, why vision statements don't work. The good news is, as of yesterday, I've secured technology, which I ran a beta test on a year ago. I didn't use it on vision statements, but I used it on goals. I used it on helping salespeople increase their production, and a 6-figure earner. So not someone that makes $1,000 a month. Ooh, I increased their income by 30%. No, this is a 6-figure earner that's been in his industry for 17 years. In the first year after that beta test, and using this technology, he increased his income by over 30%. And if you'd like a sneak peek on that, you can go into the description and get the free report. the 42-day sales transformation. But I will also be creating a video introducing this technology and what it will do. It is going to shave years off of your success. We will help you accomplish in 42 days that other sales coaches, trainers take years to help you to accomplish. This is going to revolutionize the whole sales industry. And so I look forward to talking to you about that. So before I leave, I want to give you some action steps so you can take right now to get going. I want you to start on this vision statement. So I want you to know the difference between the mission and a vision statement. I want you to think and ponder, where do you want to be in 3 years from today? And then I want you to go and sit down for 20, 30 minutes and write notes on what your life will look like in 3 years from today. And you've got the framework for vision statement. You have the framework. So once you get started, now that you know what a vision statement is, now that you know it's only supposed to be 3 years out, and now that you've taken time to write out and ponder and know where it is that you want to be in 3 years from today, you can finish the framework on your own. And I look forward to meeting with you on the next video. Again, subscribe, like this video, leave a comment, tell me what you thought, ask me questions, and I can create more video content for you on visions if you like, if you have questions about this. So until next time, have a great day.